Yo, make sure to like and subscribe in the next 5 seconds, then you have the best luck of your life.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Alright, before the vid starts, I just want to say unfortunately there is no giveaway winners that I'm going to be announcing in today's video. Something happened between my two videos and the winners are going to be posted in the next one. But moving forward, I have solo arena gameplay for you guys. I pretty much go over what I do and why I do. And of course it has that calm music that you guys like. One more thing before the video starts is make sure to use code TheSiloan in the Fortnite item shop, spelled exactly like this on the screen. That's pretty much it, guys. Enjoy the video. Peace. Alright guys, after you guys have found your drop spot, most of the time you're going to be contested if you're landing at a POI. In this clip, I wind up hearing two players fighting, so I decided to go towards the fight so I can get an easy cleanup. If you're off spawn and you see two players getting into a build fight or box fighting, usually it's really easy to kill them, especially if you're third partying them, just because since it's off spawn, they don't have that much loot. Here I see that they're going at it, so I decided to go for hide. He winds up killing the player, and since he's building out of wood, I just decided to get in. I get into his box and I hit him for 70. I decided to hit him with a little fake out so he shoots his weapon. If you're ever in someone's box like this, always try to figure out some little tiny things you can do to possibly confuse them. Because if you can confuse your opponent while you're in their box and you have the edits, that can lead to an easy kill. And just like that, I clean up the third party. Of course, I'm getting my purple pump. You know I love those 200 pumps. I hear a player gliding right here, so I try to take some shots at him, just in case he's weak. But then I notice that there's a player in the bush below me, and if you didn't know, if you throw a crash pad into a bush, it will completely destroy the bush and launch the player in the air. The player starts running from me, but since I have crash pads, I can easily catch up to him. He destroys his own crash pad, but then I just place mine. As I get closer to him, I don't want him to beat me, so I start shooting him in midair. I then ramp over to his box, place a staircase on the other side, and crash pad him. I wind up whiffing an easy shot, but it's all good. I place a cone in the flat over him, I box him, but right as I'm about to shoot him with my second shotgun shot, the angle and the debris completely blinds me, so I wind up missing my shot again, but I'm able to beam him with my AR, and get that easy kill. Personally, this season's a lot more fun for me, just because the pump is back and I can WK. So right here I'm not really making a smart move by going outside of zone, but since there's a third party, I'm pretty sure I can get a kill off of it. I see two players already in each other's boxes, and I notice a player's trying to heal up, so I immediately take his wall and get an easy one pump. If you're ever going to push a third party, it's best to push the third party if they're already getting into each other's faces and making each other weak, because most of the time you'll wind up getting an easy kill, just because they'll be unaware of you pushing them when they're already in a fight. I hear the player around me, but I don't know exactly where he's at, so I hit the cone, because maybe he's hiding underneath the cone, and he winds up being behind the wall. We exchange shots, and I notice he's one shot, so I just take my time and start healing up because I know he has no shield. I try to go for a wall take, but he winds up holding the wall, so I don't get it. He then builds up, so I decide to go up with him. I notice instead of him keeping hide against me, he just boxes up. So that gives me a sign that he's just running out of mats. So I just decide to get in. And unfortunately for him, he only had 10 builds left, so yeah, it was a GG's. Alright, so right here I'm rotating into zone. But then I think I hear footsteps nearby me, so I immediately start looking everywhere. And I wind up being correct, and the player is right behind me. I notice he starts building up, so I just box up for a second, and maybe he'll pass me and go to zone. Because it's one of the most annoying things when a player is just right on you in storm, and if you're trying to rotate, he won't let you rotate and he'll just try to fight you. I try to go back towards the old kill that I got earlier, just so maybe I can get a refresh on my mats. I notice that there's a slurp truck and I can get all my health back, so immediately I start running over to that. Luckily I barely make it to the slurp truck because there's already a player on it. He's unaware of where I was at, so I get an easy shotgun tag on him. He tries to impulse to zone, but I wind up one-tapping him right before he hits the impulse. And I get a good refresh before I get into zone. I know I have splashers, so I'm not really trying to rush getting to zone yet. As I start making it into zone, I build out a middle, just because if you're ever trying to heal up, or you're ever trying to base up, and the safest to be in when you're just trying to take your time and group yourself together. Right here, I see that the player is unaware of me shooting his wall, so I immediately break in and place my own. I then try to take his other wall, but he winds up holding it and goes out through the top. So I just back off for a second, and I hear a player running below me. So I make a little floor edit and I pump him for a good amount of damage and I tag him for white with my AR. Immediately I edit out where he's going to be, box him, and get an easy kill. I then build out some more and make my own box out of hard mats, just so I have more room to work with. And right as he's taking my wall, zone starts coming in. So immediately I had to try to distance myself a little bit from him just so I can get it to zone. I notice he's on low ground, so I immediately build up for height. Notice how I build up and then jump down right away to try to get shots off of him. It's always better to try to end fights really quickly, especially when you guys are both running from storm. So if I can keep on jumping down, building up, and getting more shots off of him without him expecting it, I can easily end the fight and just focus on zone, which can save me a lot of mats. Because usually a lot of the time, the two players who are running and fighting while zone is coming in usually die by a third party, just because they have no mats. So if you can end that fight really quickly, then that'll definitely higher the chances of you surviving the third party from the guy inside of zone waiting for you. Right here, since I'm on dead side, I'm just waiting for zone to form. So I hide behind these old builds. Zone forms and I notice it goes down the mountain. So since I'm on dead side, I don't really have to worry about getting shot by anyone. I notice a player is above me and I get a free beam on him. Since I'm in a W key mood, I decided to just push that. I notice he builds out a metal and starts trying to heal up, so immediately I start putting pressure on his walls. He then starts building more boxes, so I just apply pressure on every single box. He tries to go up with bounce pads, but since he's only on 2 walls, I break them out, and I wind up getting an easy kill out of the air. As soon as I do that, I place cones just so I can stop the mats and materials from falling off. If a player ever bounce pads up while he's weak to try to heal, just knock him out. It'll save you more time and mats. Alright, so right here, zone starts to move in, so I grab my last chug splash and I use it. And since I have the hoverboard, I can easily rotate to zone. As soon as I get into zone, I get tagged by a big pump shot, so I just heal up for a second. I don't have any other rotation, so I have to use my mats and try to cover every angle just so I don't get shot. Zone pulls far, so immediately I start staircase tunneling just because I have to save my mats. There's a player to my right, so I go to the left. It's better to be away from your opponents, especially when you're tunneling, just because sometimes they'll try to get some cheeky shots off on you. So if you can distance yourself from your opponents, it'll make it easier for you to rotate endgame. I don't have that much mats, so I try to build up, base myself. The player glides above me, and since I don't have that much mats, I immediately put all my attention to him, because if I can kill him, then more than likely I'll win the fight from the guy below me. I notice this player is white and he has no mats, so I'm able to get that easy elimination. With the little bit of mats that I have left over, I build up just because it's easier for me to win this fight if I have height. He tries to jump to the side and I use my last mats to block him off. I then edit my own cone, get an easy 80 tag on him, and he winds up dying to storm. If it ever goes up a mountain like that, try to use all the mats you can to block off your opponent, because if they get height on you, they have the better chance of winning.